Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, we're here. Iwajuan is here in Milan studio, and it's another beautiful Friday, 12th of March. We're here. George, are you here?
Yes, I am here. My name is George Chuku, aka Bluetooth George, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Greetings around the world to our viewers.
Yes. Okay. The audio was a little bit shaky, but I can see
shaky?
you. It's good to have you. Yes, we're here. So it's our Friday International Affairs update, and as usual, we've come down. George, let's dive in. Let's dive into very serious situations now. It's said that 3.7 million Nigerians are eternally displaced at the moment. And this information is coming from the International Organization for Migration. George, this is what we've been talking about. It's terrible to hear this news. In your own father's land, you are being displaced. Can you imagine this, George?
It's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. It is unacceptable. But these are the things we are facing, with our people in that country, our beloved country. So, and when you look at this particular story,
George, maybe
can you hear me?
No, we can't. I'm sorry. Maybe we could probably log out.
Is it better? Is it better now?
Yes, maybe that could work. We can't hear you.
Okay. So
yeah, viewers, what we're talking about is the situation while George tidies up the video. The International Organization for Immigration says about 3.7 million people are eternally displaced in Nigeria, and it says more than 3.7 million people also, another group, are being displaced as a result of conflicts, violence, climate situations. But we're looking more at the conflicts and violence that's taking people from their ancestral land to being in camps and all of that. George?
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes. Okay, go ahead, George. Go ahead.
So when you look at this particular situation here that you're seeing, I know there are a lot of people that I will call the sycophants that are supporting a particular party might deny, these are things, and they make it lighter than what it is. But but when you look at it from the standpoint of a constitutional standpoint, this is failure of leadership.
George, is still not very. It's cracking. I think it's
cracking.
The audio. There's something with the audio, but you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Very clearly. I can hear you very clearly. Yes.
Okay, but I can't hear you, and our viewers can hear you. So
okay, let me go ahead and try to fix it. Let me go ahead and try to.
Okay. All right. So yeah, what George is trying to explain there, viewers, is the situation at hand. Conflict, violence, climatic issues, environmental pressures, they say, has brought this number of people being displaced. Now, let's not speak big grammar. Let's break it down. When you're displaced in your ancestral land, this means that you're no more, you're not living in where you're supposed to be. You've lost your place of abode. You've lost your ancestral land. And most times, this group of people are farmers. Most times, this group of people are people that need to be in that territory, that land, for their various activities, their various livelihood and endeavors. So when these things happen, they find themselves out of the place. And take note, the shelters they provide, it's not even it's not up to standard. The shelter they provide is not worthy enough for humans to live in. We've seen pictures and images from some of those shelters, those IDP camps, they call it, and you won't believe the squalor, filth, and all of those things there. And you're talking about millions number of these people in such situation. So this is serious. This is more than talking about election 2027. This is more than any political party looking to community governance and talking politics. This is real. Human beings being subjected to the lowest level of existence, all because some people want to take their land, some people want to wipe them out of their ancestral land, some people want to, because of maybe minerals and whatever it is they've seen in those places. This is crazy. This is real sad. Let me bring George. Let's see if that fine.
I don't know. I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Now, yes, it's better now.
Okay.
Now.
So,
yeah.
What I was actually saying is, sometimes we see what you call psychophancy when you are basically supporting a particular party. Maybe it's from your ethnic origin, and then you don't want to say anything negative about that. But when you look at, this is a humanitarian crisis.
Yes,
this is exactly what it is, a humanitarian crisis. And it's because of failure of leadership and protection. The fact that over 3.7 million Nigerians remain displaced, reflects a deep failure of governance. Citizens who should have been protected from conflict, violence, and environmental disaster have instead been left vulnerable, revealing the government's inability to guarantee basic security and stability. So these things are so wrong. There's no way you can paint this picture, to excuse the nonsense that is going on. Promises without meaningful action is what they have had for the longest. For years, authorities have made repeated pledges about rehabilitation, resettlement, and rebuilding communities, yet many displaced families still live in campus or uncertain conditions. The gap between political promises and real assistance has only deepened the frustration and sufferings of these citizens. These people have been displaced. Their children, they are not able to go back to their ancestral land. They have lost their livelihood, the ways of their making money, because many of them, like you said, are farmers, especially from the middle belt. So this humanitarian burden shifted to international partners. This is what's happening in Nigeria today. It is troubling that organizations like the International Organization for Migration are doing much of the heavy lifting in supporting displaced people, while the Nigerian government appears slow, inadequate in delivering durable solutions, such as safe return or reintegration or economic recovery to these people. So this is what you are seeing constantly in our country. So we have excuses. All we have is excuses. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Oh, it's the opposition that is bringing all these things in. But what you are hearing is from an international organization who is studying these things and telling you facts, yet the government will deny it, or those supporters will continue to make it lighter than what it is. But it's a humanitarian crisis and must be fixed by the government.
Humanitarian crisis and must be fixed by the government. Now, George, let's break down some of these words you just said. Let's break it down and make it look real, simple. Now, they are being taken up from their ancestral land because of some greed, because of some interest, because of violence, because of Boko Haram trying to create conflict and all of that. Now, George, they take to these IDP camps. You used to talk about IDP camps, and the IDP camps are also not deplorable. I mean,
it is a despicable.
Oh boy! So now, what do we think could be a lasting solution to all of this? Is it that because they talk more of sovereignty, their territory, and sovereignty is nothing if you're not protecting the lives and the property of the people in that given territory. So what about the federal government going to other new land, to new territory, and probably making out new territory for these people instead of just putting them in a camp, waiting for when that would never happen, waiting for their home to be restored, which we know might not happen.
Why would they not allow them to go back to their ancestral land?
Because some people have overrun it, George. Some people have taken over.
That is exactly the failure of the government to protect the lives of the people, the lives of the citizens, which is a constitutional right. When you are paying taxes, or whether you are paying taxes or not, it's still the responsibility of the government to protect lives and properties. That's what the Constitution says. So if these people are being displaced and unable to return them back to their ancestral land, that is the failure of government. And there is no excuse that you can give to support or to excuse them. It is deplorable, just despicable act. So what you're seeing, they put them in these conditions. Just imagine leaving your household, leaving everything, running away only with clothes on your back. And then they put them in these despicable places. They got to find them food. They got to find them shelter. They got to find them, necessities of life. Rather than trying to bring the military to safeguard these areas that we know that we have problems. So these are the decisions being made by the government, which is actually, just it's a constitutional failure of the government. In short, there is no excuse whatsoever. You cannot excuse this.
You mean humanitarian efforts will not even restore some of the hope and the lives of these people, because
it's not possible.
Yes,
it's not possible.
We have to do it now. Also, George, take note that the number they gave, 3.7, it will be a rough estimate. We have more than that number. We know this number because you have people like you said, the Southeast. They are not counting those ones. The Southeast have had situations where people are also taken off from their ancestral land. I know a particular community in the Southeast that has been deserted. Everybody there has run away, and they're just anywhere they have laid their head. And you have situations also in the South. Delta State has that situation at the point. You have a large number of people that have left their ancestral land. So, go ahead. You're going to say something.
What I was basically saying is this. When you understand the ramifications and the consequences upon these people that are displaced and what their daily lives have become, psychologically, emotionally, when you have left where you grew up, where you knew everything, many of these people that you are counting, if they are telling you it's 3.7, you can triple that, because a lot of people are able to migrate to other areas and start a life, because they are strong or whatever the case might be. So they're only counting the people that are unable to find them shelters. But there are so many of them that have been displaced. They moved in with loved ones in other states or moved in with loved ones in other cities. So you can quadruple the number they are giving you, 3.7 multiplied by 3. That is the number of people more than likely that have been displaced. That's right.
Multiplied by 3, George.
That's right.
George,
no, think about it. Because not everybody that runs away, they can run to their, to their relatives. They can run to other cities and start a business, or they can run somewhere else. The people that you are seeing now are only those that have been unable to provide themselves better places to live. Therefore, they have no choice. But there are many that are displaced that are living with relatives. We have had stories about some of the, these cities that are trying to drive them out and saying that, that their population might overtake the population of the indigens. So that means that there are so many who did not go to the camp they were displaced, they moved to other cities, they were displaced, they moved to friends, they were displaced, and they moved to other, family members all around. So that's what you have to understand. So when you're counting the real numbers, it gotta be 3 to 4 times the amount, 3.7.
Okay, George, we also want to commend the effort of that organization, the IOM. IOM is an international organization for migration in the world, and they are doing their best. It's not easy to do what they are doing because our government has failed. The present government of Nigeria is not doing anything on that issue. So if an international body is handling that, we have to commend them because
we do.
Yes, we do. And we do. So the chief of that mission, there's a name there, Sharon Amici. We want to commend you people for your effort, but look at also providing lasting solution. Let them add their voice to this fight against insurgency. Let them add their voice to all of those things that spark off people being displaced. Not just coming to help those people, but also putting their voices into those issues that affect people being displaced. I think that would be a wise way to go about it.
That would definitely be a wise way.
Yes, yes. George, one African country that is known to start up things, another African country has started taking the bull by the horn. I remember you saying something like this some time ago. Ghana has approved cannabis cultivation for industrial, medicinal use, and also licensing it to companies to go into that business. Do you think it's a good way to go? What do you say, George?
Well, I mean, when you look at what has been going on, this is what you call an evolution, of understanding. Okay, number one is marijuana used to be one of the drugs that has that was used to jail many black people, many young black people, many people of racial African descent, wherever they might be living, in the United States of America, in Canada. So marijuana has been a drug that the government used to jail quite a few number and destroy many lives per se. But they have finally come to the point of understanding that the medicinal use of marijuana is also very important, especially with those with autism and those that are suffering certain type of ailments. So medicinal marijuana now in Canada is legal, but also it is legal for people to go and buy marijuana and smoke. It's like you going to buy alcohol if you are of age. So many countries have been taking advantage of this. For instance, Canada. Canada, when they legalized marijuana, our GDP is increased drastically because of the usage. People that are buying legally and paying taxes on it. So US, many of the states are also legalizing marijuana. So Ghana to come on top and begin right now at this moment to legalize the use of medical marijuana for some of these medicinal uses is incredible. And I can guarantee you, if they are the only African country that is doing it, like some of these West Indies countries that are doing it, like Jamaica, they're making tons and tons of money. So I applaud Ghana for coming up with this particular ideology, for them to start manufacturing, medical marijuana and selling it, because internationally they can make more money through this than the cocoa that they used to, export outside of the country. So this is something that is, commendable for the country for being like-minded with the Western ways of doing things, and it is helping them. It's helping them a lot.
It is helping them a lot. George, do you think that it will spread around most parts of Africa? Nigeria to consider this.
Well, you see, what is happening with Nigeria is, we have actually delved into the culture, mixed our own culture and our religious beliefs with some of these things. We're not more religious than America is. We're not more religious than many other countries are. But what you're seeing is when they discover these opportunities and they check the pros and the cons and they see that they can actually legally do this, because whether they like it or not, many people are smoking marijuana in Nigeria. Whether they like it or not, they are growing marijuana and they are, using it in Nigeria. So why not do what many of these countries are doing? Legalize it to the point where you can actually produce it and ship it out, even if you don't know how to use it medicinally. You can ship it out to the countries that are developed, just like what we do with many of our, resources. Many of our resources are being shipped abroad, and they're using it and they're bringing it back to us as finished products. So now we can also do this by allowing our nations to have what you call a controlled production of this medicinal marijuana and ship it outside of the country. So those many countries that are using it, or many countries that are using it to move it into medicinal purposes. So I don't see anything wrong with it.
All right, viewers.
I commend Ghana highly on that.
Okay, viewers, we're discussing what has happened. Ghana has approved cannabis cultivation for industrial medicinal use and open licensing to companies. This decision came followed with the Parliament of Ghana, which passed the legislative measures on this issue, enabling the government to open a licensing regime for qualified businesses that are interested in cultivating it and processing cannabis under strict, but take note of that word, strict regulatory conditions, strict conditions, not just doing it because you want to do it. They have to follow with the government arrangement. So under that framework, a lot of companies will be seeking to participate in that sector now, and they will need to apply for it for official licensing, and they need to comply also with all the rules and the laws required. So this is what we're hearing from Africa on today's International World Affairs update. So George, let's see if some other countries will follow suit, and let's see how it works out for the countries that go into this cultivating for business. This morning, we're getting some news on what is happening, the update on Israel, Iran, and the America war, the Middle East crisis. What are some of the updates? What we have here is that there are still more heavy strikes going on. Lebanon yesterday had some strikes from Israel. Beirut was burning with fire, and 7 people were killed also, like we heard yesterday. Also, with the Iranian leader, the new leader, said that the Straits of Hormuz remains closed. So that means oil, gas, all these things that comes through there will also be on the high side. So what do you have, George? What are your updates on the Middle East crisis?
It is it's an unnecessary escalation driven by external influences. The involvement of the conflict, reflects the broader regional strategy, of which has long supported armed groups. Iran has been supporting Hezbollah. So what you're seeing right now is the conflict is between Iran and Israel. The Hezbollah, which has been supported by Iranian government, just rose up and started fighting Israel, taking advantage of this. So by entering war that did not originally involve them, Hezbollah has helped escalate tensions and has widened the scope of violence across the whole entire Gulf region. So you see what is happening here. Iran is not only fighting against Israel, but they claim that they are going after, American bases that are in other, Gulf region, and therefore firing, missiles and, drones in these areas. And most likely, they have actually, for instance, in Dubai, one of their missiles or one of their drones destroyed a condominium, killing destroying a lot of properties and stuff like that. So the people that are paying for
your audio on, even if as the video runs. So keeps. keep your audio, George.
So what we're seeing is that there has been a lot of increase in drones that are being fired, but are misplacing and falling into the civilian areas, injuring a lot of people, destroying properties in the Gulf region, Kuwait, Dubai, and other regions. So what this is actually saying, Iran is proving what America is fighting against and what Israel is fighting against. For them to be fighting, sending missiles and drones to these innocent countries that have not had any type of conflict with them is actually showing that Iran cannot be allowed to have any nuclear warhead. They are not stable. They are not stable. So these people must not be allowed to have these military warheads, nuclear warhead, because what they want to do is to accumulate this thing. Tomorrow they can do all the atrocities and everything that they want to do without any repercussion, because they want to be like China and they want to be like Russia. With all this nuclear warhead, they don't want anybody telling them what to do. Therefore, they can destroy Israel overnight. So these are arch enemies of Israel, and that's the reason why America is saying no. We cannot allow that to happen. So what you're seeing here is that the civilians.
So George, keep your audio on. So viewers, what you're saying here is what George is saying. This is the moment a part of Lebanon was struck down, and we also have some videos of the Supreme Leader saying that they are blocking the Straits of Hormuz. So, George, blocking that Straits of Hormuz, as the Supreme Leader said, don't you think that that's also not going to favor them? Because as much as we know the outside world gains the purchase and the delivery of those gas and oil, but they get a percentage also by those ship using their passage, and also some of those things are coming from their side too. Doesn't this mean total breakdown of business for both sides of the world? Is it a reasonable thing to do?
You see, this type of decision also that their leader just mentioned is the reason why America is fighting for a change of the type of government that they have. Because these are the people that do not understand that, or maybe they don't care about the international and diplomatic relationship that they have with other nations. So what you're seeing is, for instance, Hezbollah is involved in this thing. Who are the ones suffering? As the clashes intensify with strikes, it's ordinary Lebanese citizens who are not even, have any decision to make whether Hezbollah should be involved in this fight or not, are the ones suffering today. So you see loss of lives, destruction of homes, and displacement of hundreds of thousands of people. And political and the militant calculations are once again leaving innocent people trapped in the middle of devastating conflicts. So we need to find the type of government that can agree, that understand that human life is important. Therefore, when they make these decisions that they make, that like what Iranian government is doing, it is sad because most of their population want the nonsense to stop. But it's only a handful of leaders who are making all these decisions, and the common people are suffering every day.
Common people
so
are suffering.
It needs to stop.
So this is what the news coming in. Israel military yesterday anyway unleashed some wave of heavy strike on Lebanon, like George has explained. That's because Hezbollah is also supporting the Iranian government. So they went for them, and 7 people were killed. Also, we heard that the Straits of Hormuz, that passage that you brings gas, oil to the outer world, has been closed, blocked. The Supreme Leader said it will remain closed, at least for now. He says as a tool of pressure. These are his words.
Okay, that's exactly the point there. As a tool of pressure. Who are you pressuring? How is that benefiting you? That's the question, because the threat from to ignite oil and gas infrastructure, to stop it from moving along, with attacks that have already caused casualties, risk turning the wider Middle East into a battleground. And you know, such actions and endanger civilians and critical economic lifeline that millions of people depend on. So what you're seeing is they are pursuing their goal, but yet people are the ones that are suffering. And at the end of the day, all the infrastructure that are being destroyed will have to be rebuilt by the government. So these are the things that are happening. So targeting facilities around and an attacking bases in neighboring countries only deepens instability, while the rhetoric of they talk about we are friends with all our Gulf nations around us, but yet you are fighting and bringing drones and missiles into their countries, destroying their infrastructures, destroying lives, and bringing instability in the economic welfare of the country. That is actually negative, because you're talking from the two sides of your mouth. You say they are our friends, but we are sending drones against you, against your countries. So what did Kuwait do to them? What did Dubai do to them? Are they not the same people?
What did Dubai do? But they say they are targeting the US bases in those places, but we know it's not true. George, let's move on now. Thank you very much. Last time it was the female football team that went to play in Australia, and they all decided to take be granted asylum. Now we heard that the Iranian football team will not be coming to the World Cup because of what America has done to them. So the sport minister says the team cannot safely compete in the 2026 World Cup in the United States. George, this is I don't know if they are thinking rationally, but this is not. Is it good? What do you think, George? What do you say about this?
Well, what you see is the possible withdrawal of Iranian Iranian national football team from 2025 FIFA World Cup shows how geopolitical tensions are once again spilling into the global sports. Athletes who worked hard to qualify for the tournament now risk losing their opportunity because of the decisions made far beyond the football field. So a missed opportunity for unity, because a lot of these people, I know Iran is afraid because of what just happened with some of the females who went to Australia and decided to stay back because they will not sing their national anthem. But that shows you what the regular people in that country are feeling. You see, so international competition like the World Cup often serve as a rare moment where nations can come together despite the political differences. Like Russia, they participate in spite of the war that is happening with Ukraine. So leaders of such as I think it's Gianni Infantino have long argued that sports can build bridges, even during conflict. And Iran absence would only deepen the division rather than promote dialogue. So players and fans caught in the middle once again. This is not something that they fought for. The uncertainty surrounding the participation means that players, supporters, and the global football community are once again bearing the consequences of political conflict. They don't want this. They just want to play their sports. They just want to get the world recognition and the efforts that they have suffered for many, all through the year. They want to get the benefits of that. But these things are also affecting them. But what I'm thinking is that the reason why they ran quickly and said that they might not, come out for the World Cup is simply because of what the women just did in Australia. Possibly that's the reason. But they should allow their national. If people want to run away, they can run away.
So they don't want to lose all the football team, all the football female, male football team to other because of what's happening. Okay, anyway, that's it. We all know that they qualified for this 2026 tournament with this World Cup. And this World Cup also will be hosted by United States, Canada, and Mexico from June 11th to July 19th. So they have declared that they are not coming because they say the weirdness that was inflicted on them, killing their leaders and all the thousands of other people that have suffered. That's what the sports committee said about this. Okay, George, we heard what happened in your corner there Virginia University, 2 people were shot and the gunman was later killed. So this thing is not even ending. We keep hearing every day United States will have one shooting, one gunman. This. Tell us what is the news on that? What's the latest?
It is so sad. It is
anyway?
so sad. Yeah, it's the shooting, allegedly carried out by this individual is tragic and senseless act that deserve the strongest condemnation. No ideology or grievance can justify targeting innocent students and educators in a place where it was meant for learning. But this is what is happening. People are just being, people will just get off of their house, carry a gun because they have some grievances. The quick and the brave response by the students who subdued the attacker likely prevented an even greater tragedy. So if these people who were just who were there and was able to tackle this man, it could have been a disaster. It could have been a much more disaster where children must have been killed. Their courage under extreme pressure demonstrates the power of collective action in protecting lives. So that's what actually minimized the number of people that were killed. The incident linked to the attacker past association with highlights the ongoing danger of radicalization and extremist violence. I don't know why it's only one group of people that are doing this. Why is this particular religion full with violence? I do not understand. And you see a lot of extremists that are coming out of this something, causing chaos all over the world. So we need to really check some of these things and make sure that, people that we discover that are having mental health issues, they might be put in mental asylum to get, cured. Not ignoring most of them until, they carry a gun and go killing folks all around the world. So it's really, really deplorable and despicable. We condemn it. And, our condolences to the families, that are.
Sorry for that. Yes, viewers. So two people were injured, and the gunman killed himself inside an academic building at the University of Virginia. While we're talking this, let's bring in our diva BD from Lagos, Nigeria. BD.
Good morning, Massive Max, Sir George, our viewers all around the world. It's nice having you.
Good morning, BD.
Good morning. You're welcome, BD.
Thank you.
We're almost running up, but I mean, it's better late than never. BD, it's good to have you. We've said some things here, but George, let's go further with the Iran war and the Nigerian economy. Our central bank chief, Cardoso, says the economy can withstand any shock from the US-Iran war. Maybe BD could help us with that to start with. BD, that was what the CBN chief is saying. It's easy to say these words. These things are, you can say anything. Anybody can say anything. Are we really prepared for that? He says the economy will stand any shock from the war, the Middle East crisis. Is that true? What are the things you've seen that they are doing to withstand that the crisis?
Yeah, Cardoso, the CBN governor has come out to say that Nigerian economy will actually withstand the war going on in Iran. He said it. But the first question I would like to ask him, if truly Nigerian economy will withstand the Iran-US war that is ongoing presently, why is it that it did not even take us up to a week to increase our fuel price? That's just one question I want to ask them. Just within that week, Nigerian electricity has become epileptic. There's protests all around Nigeria from states, and you can imagine what is happening in Lagos State now. Assume what will be happening in other rural area or other states. Lagos is said to be the mega city in Nigeria, and they have been protesting. There is massive protests going on because of lack of electricity.
We see that.
Because of lack of electricity, and he's coming out to tell us that they will withstand it. Maybe probably you need to explain to us how they intend to withstand it, because if where the war is actually going on, have not had any cause to complain of anything within a week and some days of the war. And the Nigeria already has increased fuel, no electricity, the price of foodstuff is quite increasing. And he has come out to pretend, lie to us, because this is lies, that they will withstand it. Well, I don't know what to say now, but Nigerian government really have to come out to explain to Nigeria how they intend to withstand this thing, because it's not just by saying it. They have to tell us what they intend to do to withstand this shock.
Biddy, you mentioned something. Biddy, you mentioned something the other day when you were asking the question, where is the fuel reserve that we're supposed to have? That in in situations like this, we're supposed to go to those fuel reserve and help the nation. And this is exactly what we are talking about here. You see, Kodoso can come and say that because Kodoso was not lying, Biddy. Kodoso was telling what you call alternative truth. He was not lying, because alternative truth is the truth that resonates with certain group of people. So the elite in Nigeria can withstand, but the suffering civilians and common people are suffering. So, this is not a problem to the elite. So they can come out and say, oh, Nigeria can withstand the shock. What are they exactly are they doing? The shock of number one, there is what you call a ricochet effect or domino effect of this type of thing. When you increase fuel, you are increasing, the hotels and the restaurants and the movement of goods and everything all around our livelihood in Nigeria will be affected. Prices will increase drastically, and there is no control over these prices. So people do what they want, they increase it the way they want, and most of the time you cannot even blame them because they are trying to survive through this crisis. So that's the major issue. How is Kodoso saying that they are going to sustain the economy? Are they saying that we will continue to look good in the public eye, in the eyes of the international world, while the people are suffering in Nigeria and smiling? Is that what he's saying?
You're right. You're very, very correct. I totally agree with you. And now what you said has actually brought my mind to one of the things they said. They said the higher global oil price could make Nigeria generate more income because it's going to strengthen
that's logical. Yes, that's how it should actually be.
No. That's how it should be, but it's not like that in the case of Nigeria. Let me tell you why I said it's not like that. Have you forgotten that Nigerians, we don't refine? Even Dangote, as of last year, started refining outside this country. So it means that we will not start drinking our crude because we need to get that crude, export it for them to refine, then import it. So we are not going to make any more reserve because we can't refine. Because if we don't have any opportunity to export those oil for it to be refined, return back to us for us to sell, how are we going to make that money? So we
no. Billy, Dangote's refinery is refining a lot of our crude oil right now. The percentage that they refine versus NNPC has increased drastically, and Dangote is able to sell our refined oil outside of Nigeria. So they are, even as a matter of fact, they're talking about the monopoly right now because of the percentage of the crude that he's refining. And as a matter of fact, he's refining more oil than many countries around the world.
But I hope you know that America, Dangote is not refining 100% of oil.
No, he's not, because that a lot of other places are doing it.
Yeah, it's quite a good number. And take note of the United States even send crude to Dangote to be refined. You should take note of that. Some countries are sending crude for him to refine. So it's not about Dangote now. It is about the government of Nigeria. The plans they have for this man to give us that press briefing. Nigerian economy will stand shock from the U.S.
Okay. Let's take this. Let's take this a little bit now. What we are seeing is this: when the crude oil is rising from the $1, $70 per barrel. Now it's going to 100 and something dollars. The increase in that will affect the amount of money we get when we sell our own crude oil. Do you understand?
Okay.
So now what the government will need to do is that excess that is coming in, they need to use it reversely to reduce the number of the amount of money that Nigerians are paying on the pump at the gas stations. So they need to use it to help the people out, not just accumulating the excess and putting it into their pockets, and people are still suffering. The hotels prices are going high, food prices are going high, transportation from one area to another is going high. They need to take that excess, reinvest back into the nation, and put it back so that it will not increase the prices on the pump in Nigeria. So that's what the government needs to do.
Massive back, let me tell us, we have to understand that both crude and refined oil are being imported into Nigeria for domestic use. And as of 2025, up to 71 to 72.6% petrol consumed in Nigeria was still being imported into this country. Do you understand?
Now you're talking of petrol. No, listen. These things have different categories. You have the PMS, you have the petrol. So there are categories that are being refined. There are categories of fuel. Also you make out gas out of it. You make out
you get kerosene.
I'm talking about crude oil. And that crude oil, one would take crude oil off, then we'll get the gas, we'll get the petrol. And a good number of them is still being imported into this country, both refined and unrefined. Nigerians are still importing it.
Okay.
So if we are still importing a certain percentage of this crude oil and the refined one, how can we not say that, we are going to make good amount of money if this war is persistent? Do you understand? Because we will still rely on these foreign markets to import or to refine before we can start talking about making money. That's the point I'm trying to make. So CBN should not be so sure of himself, saying, Nigeria is going to make billions or trillions if this war persists. Because we cannot even be sure of what we have. It's like having a child who say, mommy, I want to eat fowl, and he wants to grab a fowl. You have the fowl, but you can't eat it. It has to be killed, prepared before you can eat it. That's the version of Nigeria now.
Good. That's a good one. Okay, Billy, thank you for breaking it down, making sense out of this whole story. Billy, we talked about 3.7 million people internally displaced in their ancestral land. Imagine.
Come again, I didn't get you right. About what?
Yes, I said earlier, we talked about the 3.7 million people that were eternally displaced, according to International Organization for Migration. So we were saying how sad it is that 3.7, and George said the number could be way more than that. So what's your view on that? That number, that situation, 3.7 million people being displaced.
But it's true. I am not doubting that number. It's true. I'm telling even the truth is that they do not even get it much. See, we have more, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, the middle belt, and now coming into the southwest of Nigeria, we have good number of them living in the IDP camps. I'm telling you, every day. It's happening in Kwara State. It's entering into Ondo State now. And Nigerians are not saying or doing anything about that. So I must be frank with you. If they are accurate with this number, it should be more than this. But it's true. A lot of people are leaving their land, their villages, their town, their community, and they are moving into IDP camp. And Nigerian governments are not doing anything about that.
They're not saying anything.
We're not paying attention about that.
And we have the humanitarian office, that office that people come in and steal money and leave.
Exactly. Hey, that's the point I'm trying to make. Rather, the few who are talking about it, they are more concerned about making money through this IDP camp. They want to get money. They want to source funds from the international community, from the global community, for them to be giving them there, providing food, little food, crumbs for them. They are not putting things in place so that these people can go back to their communities. No one is talking about that. because the government does not care about them. Do you understand? So this number is even not accurate. It should be more than. I am telling you, just in
I suggested that the number is about 3 times more, or because you remember the news we gave last week when we were talking about, you know, a particular village or city that was trying to drive people that are coming into their city, and they're saying that these displaced people are coming into their villages and taking over. You know, they were, you know, so when you talk about this, the number of people that are in these IDP camps, you know that it's about only 1/10 of the people that are displaced, because many people are running to other villages, many people are running to their families, many people are running to their friends, for sustenance. They're not going to IDP camp. It's only the ones that are so helpless that are now going into these places. So you know that it's about 1/10 of the number of people displaced are being reported.
Okay,
yes.
Gentlemen.
God bless you. Now let me talk. Now let me elaborate more on that. Do you know that a lot of Northerners I've met in Lagos, traveling in Lagos, a lot of Northerners who have been in Lagos for 5, 7, 10 years, who have never traveled back to their village, and they are not planning to travel. I am telling you. So those people, they will not count them. Like Sir George said, some people are in the southeast. They have not traveled back home, and they are not planning to travel. Now, it's your local government in Enugu State and the Ebonyi State. Many of them have left their village. They will not go back there. So those ones are not counted. So this number is not up to. It's more than.
It is.
All right, gentlemen. Let's wrap it up. Is there anything we're missing? We know there's so much going on, but we just bring little that we can get and also make sense out of it. Is there anything, BD, is there anything you want us to know happening in Nigeria at the moment? We heard the governor of Ondo State being told by the court that he can't come in, he can't go for election in 2027. And because they say that would be extending his tenure for too long. He's coming in for his principal, the late governor. So, yes, what are some of those stories?
There's something I want us to talk about. The Ondo State.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think she's frozen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, George, is there anything, George, from your corner?
Well, everything is quite well here. We are doing very well managing the crisis. The fuel prices that has gone up, and
yes, $100.
So we are managing those things. There's a lot of a domino effect on this particular war. The war, to me, is a necessity, but we need to make sure that it doesn't last too long, because it's going to affect the world economy so badly that if we're not careful, we might be going back into depression once again. So I hope that what Trump is saying. Another thing that happened was, why is Russia being rewarded? Why is Russia being rewarded? By easing the restraint upon them. So now they're going to be benefiting, because when they make more money through crude oil, if they are allowed to ship out much more oil, that means the war in Ukraine will actually last longer than it's supposed to, because the man is not willing in any way whatsoever to calm down. And then he's being rewarded for giving them intelligence to Iranians to fight the Americans. But they can argue and say that Americans also giving Ukraine, intelligence to fight against them. So, we're just coming close to World War III if we're not careful. And I'm glad that the Iranians are being stopped, because if they don't stop these people and they get nuclear warheads, that World War III could be imminent. It could happen anytime. Look at what they are doing now. They don't care about other nations. They don't care. Only this group of people, they don't even care about their citizens. They just care about what they believe in. That's all it is.
So
we need to be careful.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. After answering your question, I have something I want to talk about. Yes, Ondo state governor was told that he's ineligible to contest for 2028 election because their reason is that they said that he actually completed Lucky's
8 years.
tenure, and
Yes.
yes, that he just completed because he has completed it, that he's not eligible. For me, my question is this: if he completed Lucky's 8 years tenure, as a person
No,
now,
not
is he not
lucky.
allowed
I can't.
the
No, he
the
didn't
late
complete lucky. He is lucky. This is lucky. Yes, Akiredolu.
the Akrodolu, yeah, the late governor, that he completed his tenure. Now, if he had completed his tenure, he has the right as a citizen of Nigeria to contest. Let me give you an example. That was something that happened with Governor Jonathan. He actually completed the Yaradua's tenure and now contested his own. That's the thing. Now, what I wanted to talk about is the way Nigerian senators, governors has been defecting from their parties to APC. It's very common now. It's like an acquisition. They're acquiring them from every state. That has been okay. It's been happening. But a particular senator, Senator Enyine Abaribe, defected from ABGA to ADC. And the House is telling him that he's going to lose his seats. You know, maybe somebody should make this make sense for me. A lot of senators, House of Rep members, governors have been defecting to APC for months, for years, and it's been okay. They are clapping for them, they are praising them, they are applauding them. Now someone has defected from ABGA to ADC. And they say, no, you can't do it. It is a crime. You have to lose your
in the first place.
seat.
Yeah, in the first place, the Nigerian politicians are. It's a strange activity going there. You don't come in with a particular party, and in the midst of your tenure, you defect, you change, you switch. These are unheard of things. I don't know where we have this mentality from. So all of them, in the first place, all of our politicians. Then for this man's own, I heard about it too, and now he's being picked on for defecting to ADC. It's what it is, but still, we have 9 of them that defected yesterday to ADC, and I was saying, well, it's good, but it has nothing to do with winning election. On the day of election,
maybe I need people to answer my question.
Yes.
I want people to answer my question. I'm not talking about it. I don't know it. I want people to answer my question. APC, people have been defecting to governors, senators, House of Representatives since 2024 till now. And it has not been issued. Now, someone is defecting to another party. APC are saying no. Please, you should tell me, why is this so?
You know how APC.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I think there is no reason why, if others are defecting and then he's defecting and they're making his own an extraordinary situation, that's actually a discrimination, because what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So, but the point is this: Nigerian defecting from one party to another is all about political protection, because that's what it is, and the guarantee that they're going to be able to run.
Jordan, it's crazy.
And it is crazy, and it's not supposed to be, and with them saying that the governor cannot run again, like Billy mentioned, this is exactly what happened with Jonathan. Jonathan had the constitutional right to run another 4 years after completing Yaradua's 2 years, on his own, and that's what the court found out. But Jonathan gave up the election. He gave up the election. Like I said, I keep on saying that, so that we will understand, the political pressure that took place during Jonathan's time. But for the Justice Department or the GOD to come out and say that it is illegal for him to continue to finish his own term, that is unconstitutional. And they need to go and check the constitutional mandate on that, because that is not what our Constitution says. If you complete somebody who is deceased, you have the right to complete your own. That's right. So, the Nigerian politics has come to the place where it becomes so it's become like bipolar. It's good for these people. Then when it comes to this order, you change, the whole requirement. So we need to be very careful in that nation in the way we run our politics, and don't allow the Justice Department to dictate a lot of things that the Constitution has already stamped and said this is the way it's supposed to be.
It is the Justice Department that is saying that the Constitution doesn't allow that. The man has done 2 times. The man has he has completed the 2nd term of his principal, Akinderele. Now he says he wants to do he wants to contest on his own, and they say no. That will mean going further with the ruling party. You know,
I personally don't see any reason why he shouldn't. I don't see.
Okay.
Jonathan argued this and won in court.
Okay. Anyway, gentlemen, Diva, BD,
Yeah.
are you with us? Yes, there's small noise coming there. We have to go now. I want to thank you guys for pulling through. It's been a beautiful week, and even though the war is raging real strong, different occurrences, but God's children will survive. We'll make it through, regardless of all of this. And
we pray for stability, that God will continue to bless our president and his family, and bless the whole governors and their families, local government chairmen, and all the rulers in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. That God will continue to protect our nation and bless us mightily. That God will grant them the wisdom to continue to make the right decision that will affect our country positively and the people of the land to live in paradise like they are supposed to. And this is our prayer. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right, go ahead, B.
May God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria and bless all Nigerians everywhere you are. Open doors for you, guide and protect you. And may God especially bless all the Igbos around the world. There was a massive walk that took place in Abia State yesterday, calling for release of Nnamdi Kanu, who was illegally jailed for life imprisonment. And it was expected that people should come and participate in that. But even people who are not Igbos travel from around the nation, went to Aba where that protest took place, and that protest was a success. If you are unable to attend that protest, please keep sharing it. Let's make noise on the social media. Keep sharing it. If you did not go, the most you can do for yourself, for your region, for Igbo, is to share that post. Let the Nigerian government, let the world hear our voice and know that we are not happy. God bless everyone.
Wow.
Beautiful. Next week is my birthday. Next week is my birthday, our viewers. I expect a very good present from you people. Next week is my birthday.
Nice. All right, gentlemen. So let's go, George. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a splendid weekend.